Have you ever noticed how you can talk about almost anything with the people closest to you, your fears, your relationships, your deepest insecurities, but the moment money comes up, something shifts? The air gets heavy. Eyes dart away. The conversation dies. There's something strange about that, isn't it? We live in a world obsessed with money. We work for it, dream about it, lose sleep over it. Yet we can barely speak about it honestly, even with ourselves. Here's a man who makes six figures but feels perpetually broke. Here's a woman who grew up with nothing, now has everything, and still can't shake the feeling that it'll all disappear tomorrow. Here's a couple who loves each other deeply, but money is the thing that makes them strangers to each other. Why does money do this to us? Why does it twist us into shapes we don't recognize? Let me tell you something that might sound absurd at first. Your relationship with money has almost nothing to do with money itself. I know. You are thinking about your rent, your debt, your salary, the number in your bank account that keeps you up at night. Those are real. Those matter. But the psychology of money, the way you think about it, feel about it, fear it, chase it, that comes from somewhere else entirely. The money stories we inherit. Here's the truth. You inherited your relationship with money before you ever held a dollar in your hand. Think back to your childhood. What did you learn about money? Not what your parents told you about money. What did you observe? What did you feel in your body when money was discussed? Maybe you remember the tension in your mother's shoulders when bills arrived. Maybe you remember your father's pride when he brought home a paycheck, or his shame when he didn't. Maybe money was the thing that was always there but never spoken about, like a ghost haunting the dinner table. Psychologists call this financial socialization, but that term is too sterile for what actually happens. What actually happens is this: you absorbed money lessons through your skin, through the arguments you overheard, through the things your family could afford and the things they couldn't, through what made the adults in your life feel safe and what made them afraid. And here's what's fascinating. These early experiences create what researchers call money scripts, unconscious beliefs about money that run your financial life like code running a computer program. Some of us learned money is security, so you hoard it, you never spend it, because spending feels like bleeding. Some of us learned money is love, so you give it away, you use it to prove your worth, to keep people close. Some of us learned money is power, so you chase it relentlessly, because without it, you are nothing. And some of us learned money is shameful, so you push it away, you sabotage your own success, because deep down, you don't believe you deserve it. You are not choosing these beliefs. They are choosing you. The scarcity mindset. But here's where it gets complex. There's a concept in psychology called scarcity mindset, and it's one of the most powerful forces shaping how we interact with money. Research by behavioral economist Sendil Mullanathan shows that scarcity doesn't just mean having less, it actually changes how your brain works. When you're operating from scarcity, your mental bandwidth narrows. Your focus becomes obsessive. You can think about almost nothing else but the thing you lack. And for millions of people, that thing is money. The cruelty of this is profound. The less money you have, the more mental space it occupies, which means the less mental space you have for everything else: planning, learning, making good decisions, being present with the people you love. You become trapped in a cognitive tunnel, and the tunnel is made of worry. But here's what's really happening. Scarcity mindset isn't just about actual scarcity. You can have money and still operate from scarcity. You can have wealth and still feel poor. Because scarcity isn't just about what's in your bank account, it's about what's in your nervous system. It's about the story your body tells itself about safety and danger, about enough and not enough. And this is where it gets interesting. That story was written long before you ever made your first financial decision. Money and identity. Let me ask you something. Who are you without your income? Sit with that question for a moment. Feel how uncomfortable it is. We tie our identity to our earning power in ways we barely acknowledge. In many cultures, especially in places where capitalism runs deep, your worth as a human being becomes entangled with your net worth. Your salary becomes your score in the game of life. There's a reason people ask, "What do you do?" within the first few minutes of meeting you. They are not just making conversation. They are calculating. They are placing you in a hierarchy. And you know this, which is why your answer either swells with pride or deflates with shame, depending on whether you feel your work validates your existence. Psychologist Brad Clont's research on financial psychology reveals something striking. Many of our most destructive financial behaviors stem from trying to prove something about ourselves. We overspend to signal status. We hoard to feel secure. We avoid looking at our bank statements because seeing the numbers would mean confronting who we fear we really are. The psychology behind this runs deeper than you might think. According to attachment theory, the way you relate to money often mirrors the way you relate to people. If you grew up with inconsistent care, you might find yourself in inconsistent financial patterns, feast and famine, boom and bust. If you learned that love was conditional, you might believe financial security is too. If you were taught to put everyone else's needs first, you might find yourself perpetually broke because you can't say no to anyone. Your wallet is a mirror, and what it reflects back isn't just your spending habits, it's your wounds. The paradox of more. Now here's a paradox that reveals something profound about human nature. Beyond a certain point, more money doesn't make you happier. You've probably heard this before. Research consistently shows that once your basic needs are met and you have some cushion for emergencies, somewhere around $75,000 to $95,000 annually in the United States, adjusted for cost of living, additional money has diminishing returns on life satisfaction. But if you've ever been broke, really broke, that statistic probably makes you angry. Because when you are struggling, when you are choosing between medicine and groceries, when you are one emergency away from catastrophe, the idea that money doesn't buy happiness sounds like something rich people say to make themselves feel enlightened. And you are right to be skeptical. Because here's the thing, money absolutely buys happiness when you don't have enough of it. Money buys security, dignity, options, time, health, peace of mind. Money buys the ability to leave a bad situation. Money buys the space to breathe. But the truth is also this: once you have enough, the chase for more becomes something else entirely. It becomes a way to avoid facing yourself. It becomes a drug you think will finally make you feel worthy, significant, safe, and it never quite does. This is the cruel joke of capitalism. It promises that the next purchase, the next promotion, the next zero added to your net worth will be the one that finally satisfies you. But satisfaction keeps moving. The goalpost keeps shifting. There's always someone with more, and as long as that's true, you feel like you have less. Psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill, the tendency to return to a baseline level of happiness despite positive or negative life changes. You get the raise. You feel elated for a week, maybe a month. Then it becomes your new normal, and you are looking at the next rung up the ladder, feeling the same hunger you felt before. And maybe that's the real tragedy. Not that money can't buy happiness, but that we keep expecting it to fill a hole that has nothing to do with money at all. The things we don't say. Let's talk about the silence. Money is one of the last taboos in modern culture. We'll share intimate details of our sex lives, our mental health struggles, our family trauma, but ask someone how much they make or how much debt they're in, and watch how fast the walls go up. Why is that? Because money is soaked in shame. It's soaked in judgment. When you reveal your financial reality, you are revealing what you are worth, or at least, what you fear you are worth. You are revealing your choices, your mistakes, your circumstances, your luck or lack thereof. You are making yourself vulnerable in a culture that equates financial struggle with moral failure. And this silence is costing us. When we don't talk about money honestly, we don't learn from each other. We don't realize that the person who seems to have it all together is drowning in credit card debt. We don't know that the friend who always picks up the check is doing it because they are terrified of seeming cheap, even though they can't afford it. We don't understand that most people are making it up as they go, just like we are. The silence makes us feel alone in our struggle. It makes us feel uniquely broken. It makes us believe that everyone else has figured out something we haven't. But here's what's really happening. We are all carrying financial trauma, financial fear, financial shame. We are all trying to navigate a system that wasn't designed for our well-being. We are all inheriting money stories that don't serve us. And the silence ensures we stay stuck in those stories, alone. The comparison trap. Social media has made this infinitely worse. You scroll through your feed and see highlight reels of other people's lives. The vacations, the houses, the cars, the perfect outfits, the effortless abundance. And something in your chest tightens. Suddenly, what you have feels like not enough. Suddenly, you feel behind in a race you didn't even know you were running. Psychologists studying social comparison theory have found that comparing ourselves to others is hardwired into human nature. It's how we evaluate ourselves and understand our place in the social hierarchy. But social media has turned this natural tendency into a weapon of mass dissatisfaction. Because what you are seeing isn't reality. You are seeing curated wealth, performed success, rented luxury, debt disguised as abundance. You are seeing the highlight reel, not the credit card statement. But your nervous system doesn't know that. Your nervous system just knows that you are seeing other people with more, and it activates your sense of scarcity, your sense of inadequacy, your sense that you are failing at life. And this is where it gets really insidious. That feeling makes you spend money you don't have to signal success you don't feel to impress people you don't know. You are not actually buying the thing. You are buying relief from the feeling of not being enough. Money and control. Here's something you might not have considered. A lot of financial behavior is actually about control. Think about the person who obsessively tracks every penny, or the person who refuses to look at their bank account. These seem like opposite behaviors, but they are often driven by the same underlying need to manage anxiety about an uncertain world. When you grow up in chaos, financial chaos, emotional chaos, any kind of chaos, you learn to control what you can. Some people control by hoarding information, hoarding money, hoarding resources. Some people control by avoiding, by not looking, because if you don't see it, it can't hurt you. Neither strategy actually creates safety, but they create the feeling of safety, and sometimes that's all we have. Research on financial PTSD, yes, that's a real thing, shows that experiencing financial trauma, whether it's poverty, sudden loss, bankruptcy, or growing up with financial instability, can create lasting psychological effects. Hypervigilance around money. Panic when accounts get low. Self-sabotage when things are going well because deep down, you are waiting for the other shoe to drop. Your relationship with money becomes your relationship with control, which becomes your relationship with safety, which becomes your relationship with trust, trust in the world, trust in yourself, trust in the possibility that things might actually be okay. The gift of enough. So where does this leave us? Maybe the question isn't, how do I get more money? Maybe the question is, how do I change my relationship with money? And that starts with understanding this: enough is not a number. Enough is a feeling. Some people have millions and feel poor. Some people have little and feel rich. The difference isn't in the bank account, it's in the nervous system. It's in the story you are telling yourself about what you need to be safe, to be worthy, to be okay. Here's what's fascinating about the psychology of enough. Research shows that people who practice gratitude and who focus on what they have rather than what they lack actually experience greater financial well-being. Not because they suddenly have more money, but because they feel more satisfied with the money they do have. This isn't toxic positivity. This isn't, just be grateful for your poverty. This is recognizing that dissatisfaction is a bottomless pit, and no amount of money will fill it unless you address the underlying wound. The wound that says, I am not enough. The wound that says, I am not safe. The wound that says, I am not worthy unless I achieve, earn, prove, produce. Money will never heal those wounds. But understanding them, understanding where they came from and how they are running your life, that's where freedom lies. Making peace. Making peace with money doesn't mean becoming financially successful, though it might help you get there. It means untangling your worth from your net worth. It means recognizing that you are not your bank balance, your debt, your salary, your stuff. It means having compassion for yourself, for the way you learn to cope with scarcity, for the mistakes you've made, for the impossible standards you've tried to meet. It means looking at your money stories and asking, is this true? Is this serving me? Is this even mine? Or did I inherit it from people who were just as scared and confused as I am? And then, slowly, gently, it means writing a new story. A story where money is a tool, not a measure of your humanity. A story where enough is defined by you, not by algorithms designed to make you feel inadequate. A story where financial mistakes are just mistakes, not evidence of your unworthiness. A story where you can be both imperfect with money and still deserving of dignity, security, and peace. Closing. So let's come back to where we started. Why does money do this to us? Why does it twist us into shapes we don't recognize? Because money is never just about money. It's about survival. It's about worth. It's about the stories we inherited and the wounds we carry. It's about trying to feel safe in a world that often feels anything but. And maybe the kindest thing you can do for yourself is to see this clearly. To see that your anxiety around money makes sense. Your shame makes sense. Your fear makes sense. You are not broken for feeling this way. You are human, trying to navigate something that touches the deepest parts of who you are. The psychology of money is really the psychology of being human, of wanting to be safe, to be valued, to be enough. And the beautiful, difficult truth is this: you already are enough. You always have been. The money will come and go. The numbers will rise and fall. But your worth? That was never up for negotiation. And maybe that's the real wealth we are all searching for.